The speed of innovation is accelerating. I think when we look out over the last many decades, we see that each wave of new technology introductions is being adopted by a given population faster and faster and faster.
There are going to be more innovations in the next 5 years than there were in the last 30. And if you think about trying to learn what we learned in the last 30 years to be relevant, topical, and even ahead of the curve, that's a huge challenge.
The thing that really stuck with me was the pace of digital disruptions.
A lot of disruption that we're seeing, a lot of the innovation that we're seeing is around how we're going to get products and services, to the consumer.
Even in a field where you don't think there is data, there are ways to get data out of it that's going to help your business grow and add value.
I think where the most value will come from is actually from the integration of various pieces into a completely different landscape. If you think about what Internet of Things brings to big data and analytics, it's a totally new and not a previously available set of data inputs that you can combine with data inputs from other areas and sources to really get to the next level of insight. It is the convergence of these technologies in real time that would actually be the most powerful. And those companies and industries that can actually take advantage of that will benefit the most.
Big corporations just have to learn to think more like a startup to be able to bring those products they want into the market and be faster than the competitors.
Once we explain to people that work at large companies how startups work, they're actually quite willing to engage with startups on that, small, agile way.
Startups are able to offer kind of an innovative, disruptive model, and the other thing is startups are allowed to fail. If startups screw up or startups do something that doesn't work, it's a lot easier for a startup to accept that failure than a huge brand. And so being able to test and experiment with startups, I think, is a really important part of continuing to stay ahead of the digital curve.
We see a strong potential of getting new ideas in pilot prototypes ready for implementation by collaboration between corporates and startups. I think these young guys have so much talent, so much passion, so much know-how in terms of developing prototypes. This is an opportunity where everybody could benefit.
Figuring out how you can engage with the ecosystem, how you can partner, how you can leverage other players, experiment, learn, and be in the flow is probably the biggest differentiator that the successful companies will have from those who will be so-so.
Is it a transformational process within the organization, or is it more requesting a two-speed organization with a separate digital unit to speed up the implementation of these business models? My belief is that the two-speed model may be the preferred option in the current environment.
The least upgradable piece of software in the room is right here. It's the people in the seats. And so the real thing that I took away is it's the combination of people, technology, culture, incentives, process, all of the things that go into driving change. But rather than having the luxury of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 months.
The Digital Business Forum is very interesting for us to talk to decision makers from the industry, that I could share my story with all these company executives and get good feedback from them.
I was able to engage with some of the thought leaders in the industry, with higher education, as well as the entrepreneurs. Overall, very thought-provoking. It was a very valuable use of my time.
Even though we do different things, there are a lot of different types of companies here. We're all looking at this and we're having the same challenges. So sharing some of the ins and outs of those was very rewarding.
It's really an outstanding facilitated network. We have really the big technology innovators as well as people from the research organization with leading perspectives on how digital will develop.
It's a great opportunity to bring those young innovators together with big successful organizations and help them bring to market new products.
Content is something I don't see every day in my industry, but yet it's quite relevant. So it just gives me a lot of food for thought just from some of the individuals in the room that are really at the forefront of this digital field.
People enjoy connecting with each other and learning from each other. Exchange ideas, what works and what doesn't work. I'm a believer in smaller setups where you have a trusted environment, where you give people room to connect and to talk with each other. And also involving the audience and the panels and focusing on concrete examples.
The biggest value is really connecting with others and getting value out of people who have really done digital.
This will be an important facet of an executive's career going forward, to be able to be plugged in, to be able to adapt with that kind of change, and be able to get his or her organization to innovate rapidly enough.